If Cinderella's shoe fit perfectly, then why did it fall off when she ran? She had sweaty feet from dancing all night and then ran down the stairs. Do you think the prince took a sniff of that funk when he got the glass shoe? It's glass so it doesn't absorb the sweat, just sits on the surface to bloom. Why you think he was trying so hard to find her? He was definition a foot guy. Chick was running in heels. I can see that happening to anyone. Glass heels. Editing to boost a well-written article about the word ver shared by you/your shrapnel below link. Weebly.com/home/Cinderella's shoes glass or fur. And slippery like my phone. But not as fragile. In the original Cinderella story, the prince spreads pitch on the stairs to trap her. Her shoe gets stuck, and she takes it off to get away. Edit, here link. b/ike5u_rifled up is a video of Anna Kendrick playing Cinderella in Into the Woods, an extraordinary musical by Sondheim, getting stuck in pitch and singing about it. Anna Kendrick getting stuck in pitch. Perfect. Edit, I want to thank everyone for the awards. There are too many people to thank. You know, I grew up an orphan in South Boston. I bounced around from foster home to foster home, and even some abusive situations. I was in and out of juvie. As an adult I went from one job to the next without really a path in life. It always seemed like I had a gift for learning though. Then I got a job as an overpass janitor at MIT. One night, while cleaning, I saw a math problem on the chalkboard and I solved it. Luckily, the professor that put it on the board saw my talents and made a deal to let me work with him to avoid jail time for assaulting an officer. Unfortunately, I also had to go to therapy. I begrudgingly did his math equations and spent as much time avoiding therapy as possible. Then I met Scene. He changed my life. He was a therapist from Southie, just like me. I shrugged him off at first, but he didn't give up on me like everyone else. He helped me find my path in life and even get through my issues with seeing a girl. He was the father I never had. It seems as though I helped out Scene as well. Anyway, I want everyone to know that if the Southside Orphan can earn an award, anyone can. I'll leave it at that because I got to go see about a girl. Because magic users are tricksy, the reason the glass slipper in Cinderella didn't turn back to a regular slipper or disappear at midnight is because the fairy godmother was messing with us. Her main goal was to set Cinderella up for life. And to do that she needed a way for the prince to find her. She could easily have magic Cinderella into the life she wanted. Arbitrary midnight deadline be damned. But instead the fairy godmother decided to make the prince want her for her own qualities and to prove his love by tracking Cinderella down. To do that, she had to make sure that something was left behind. So she popped that little glass sumbitch off so the prince would have a lead to follow. We are all puppets in the hands of the fairy godmother. I was going to say, the real question is, why didn't the glass slipper disappear or turn back to a normal dusty shoe at midnight along with everything else? This answer answers all the questions. Another good argument for the slippers not turning back/disappearing is because the fairy godmother didn't magic them into existence like everything else. She just gave them to her after the magic happened as a final touch. So the slippers were never magic. They were just glass slippers. In the Finnish version, the prince slathered tar on the stairs to try to get her stuck. Woo romance. Because it was a perfect fit. If it were too tight, maybe it'd have stayed on. Because shoes are made so the foot can slip in and slip out. Fitting perfectly doesn't mean her foot can't come out of the shoe. Not sure, but anybody else wondering how it didn't disappear unlike the rest of her outfit/party package from the godmother? Girl, she been dancing all night, her feet are sweaty and glass is slippy. Sweaty feet from dancing. Because they are glass slippers, so they slip on and off of the feet. No laces or other means to hold them on securely for vigorous activity. Slippers are meant for regular walking, mild dancing, idly sitting, and the like. Never for running. Plus, they're glass, so the traction would be horrible on any hard surface. Have you ever run in ducking heels? And they're glass, you're gonna have some slippery sweaty feet. First, let's mention an occurrence that sets the most violent end of a scale of things that could happen. and I thank you for motivating me to look it up after having heard of it over and over for a few decades. Have you ever heard of a firefighter being blown out of his boots? For example, an article about the West fertilizer plant explosion in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that happened in 2013 and was easy to find via Google contains this quote from a firefighter. "I do not recall the explosion," says Payne. "I didn't hear the explosion." Or, sick, "feel the explosion. The people who found me, I was in a sitting position is what they tell me. My eyes were open and fixed. My boots were in one place and I was in another. In other words, I was blown out of my boots." In other words, that day he put on his boots and laced them up, or did whatever one does to affix one's boots, to keep one's boots from coming loose during a firefight. And after an explosion he found that both his boots had come off. Our firefighter's experience, then, shows that it is possible for one to lose a boot, even when tightly fitted to one's feet. What might have happened with Cinderella? Let's guess that a pumpkin coach might occupy a space similar to, say, a sphere of 5 feet radius. Cinderella was dainty, of course, so this would be large enough for her. After all, we are not talking about her ugly stepsisters here. That would occupy a volume in the range of about 65 cubic feet. When it changed back to a pumpkin, those 65 cubic feet would have been instantaneously replaced by a pumpkin probably in the range of 1 cubic foot of volume. That would have been experienced and witnessed as an implosion. We won't talk about the experience of the horses that suddenly become mice. Close bracket. This now brings up something ignored in the TV shows that refer to people trekking among the stars, not the stars who dance, but the stars that shine. That is, beaming up requires the space occupied by the person or item to suddenly become bereft of matter in the sending location, and that same amount of space to suddenly be occupied in the receiving location by matter that was not there previously. Any transporter worth its lithium would accomplish this transfer very rapidly, not as shown in the TV shows. So there would be an actual small explosion at the receiving site and an implosion at the sending site. The shock waves from this occurrence might easily damage the port nacelle, as we so often hear, or do other damage. At any rate, we now have established that it is possible for a person to be separated from his or her shoes, and that conversion of something from one physical volume to another would create a kind of explosion. I think that about covers it. I could go on, but that truly does about cover it. It has been shown that it is possible to lose one's shoe under circumstances that Cinderella was exposed to. The glaring question is this: why didn't the other shoe revert to its previous material, size and shape? How did the prince have one of those shoes to fit to all the feet in the kingdom? I mean, is this stuff all just a fairy tale? They were glass slippers, not Nike or Reebok. Well then again, nobody in the same city had the same size shoe as her, which raises even more questions. In Ashputtle, the Grimm's fairy tale it's based on, the prince's ball takes place over 3 nights. By the 3rd night the prince is so enamored by the elusive Ashputtle he orders the stairway be covered in sticky pitch before she has a chance to leave, ensnaring the golden slipper. The relevant passage: when evening came Ashputtle wanted to leave, and the prince tried to escort her, but she ran away from him so quickly that he could not follow her. The prince, however, had set a trap. He had had the entire stairway smeared with pitch. When she ran down the stairs, her left slipper stuck in the pitch. The prince picked it up. It was small and dainty, and of pure gold. She was white girl wasted. They lose shit all the time. I love how white girl wasted is accepted by all cultures around the world and we all understand its meaning without offending. White girl wasted is the first building block of a global culture. Atop the mountain she called out fireball bitches, and the world came together as one with a harmonious woo-woo. A world divided has achieved peace. Maybe it was open-backed. She was sweating from running, and it slipped off. It was those damn heels. Underscore. They are glass slippers with heels, made by an elderly fairy who hasn't demonstrated any real skill in shoemaking. What the hell do you think happens when you run in them? Just saw a guy get punched so hard the other day his shoes literally came off. Damnedest thing to watch. Same with car crashes. Shoes come off easy, even when they fit well. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.